Okay, let's start. So I could not even start any topic. This 25 minutes is over. Okay. Am I clear now? Clearly audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when project ID and dependent, let me repeat it once more very fast. So we are doing 4NF. These are the three attributes: project ID, employee ID, and dependent. Project ID and dependent are independent of each other because who is dependent on the employee is independent of what projects in the industry the employee is working with. So they are independent of each other. However, since if I insert the records in this manner, what is the problem? The problem is it seems as if from the record, from the very first record, it seems as if E1 is an employee who is involved in project P1 only when the mother is dependent on the person. Or in other words, it seems as if mother is dependent on the employee only when the employee is involved in the project P1, which is a totally logically wrong information. Again, E1, P2 child. So it seems as if E1 is working on project P2 only when the child is dependent, or in other words, E1 is the child is dependent only when the E1 employee is working on project P2. So these are logically incorrect information revealed from the table, but which was practically incorrect. So what we have to do, we have to redundantly, we have to insert more records. Redundantly, we have to in order to get the correct logical information that has been given. So we have to insert two more records. What are the two more records I have to insert? One is E1 is also involved in project P2 when the child is there, dependent. And another information I have to insert, E1 is is involved in project P1 when just between P1 and P2 when mother is dependent. Okay, so in order to get the correct information against two records, so E1 was associated with two records, two values of project and two values of dependent. Hence, we are redundantly inserting two more records in order to get the correct information. Clear? So this is the redundancy present in the table. In order to get the logically correct information, since project ID and dependent are independent of each other, so against these two records, P1 and P2 for E1, we have to insert two more records in order to get the correct information. Now it seems that E1 P1 mother, E1 P1 child, E1 P2 child, E1 P2 mother. Clear? Okay. It is not only for E1, this case is valid for every such employees who has more than one dependent person and who has more than one project. So we have to repeat the records, the tuples. So this is information is repetition because E1 is involved in project P1. We came to know from the very first row, but again I'm repeating E1 P1. Okay, so this is the redundancy. This is a very rare scenario where now here I have inserted only three attributes. There may be more than three attributes. So all the other attributes are independent of each other except employee ID. And employee ID is associated with multiple values of project ID and multiple values of dependents. Then only the scenario occurs. Clear? Then only this sort of redundancy. So for two tuples, I'm inserting four tuples. If there were more number of tuples, I would have inserted much more tuples. This is only for employee E1. Just imagine if there are so many employees and if each employee is involved with multiple values of project and dependent, I have to repeat multiple times in order to get the correct information. Now, so this sort of scenario, in this sort of scenario, what we will say is we will get some special FDs. What are those? Known as, those FDs are known as multi-valued dependence. Multi-valued dependencies. Multi-valued dependency, the short form is MVD. So when I come to 4NF, we no more talk about FDs. Actually, MVDs are also FDs, but here we say instead of FDs, we will say it is MVDs. MVDs. And how do I denote an MVD? And what are the MVDs present here? EMP-ID. Just see, how do I write an MVD? First of all, let me show you. Suppose A is an attribute and B is another attribute, and A is we write in this manner, double arrow. Okay, so A double arrow means give a straight line and then 2 arrows. B, A double arrow B, it's কি problem? A multi A, huh? 1 minute, students. Okay. What I was saying is A multi-determines B. Now, what is the meaning of A? When A will multi-determine B, when A is associated with multiple values of B, and there is another attribute, suppose C, B and C are independent of each other, then we write in this manner, we give this pipe symbol, it is not a pipe symbol, we give a straight line, and then we write C. The meaning of this one is A multi-determines B, A multi-determines C, and B and C are independent attributes present in the table. So A, B, C are the 3 attributes present in the table. B and C are independent of each other. They not only B, C, anything. We could, if there are other attributes, we could have written like this. Again, another straight line, and then we could have written B. B, C, D are independent of each other. So whatever attributes are there, where A will multi-determine all such attributes, and B, C, D, E, whatever attributes are there, they will be independent of each other. So you can imagine this is a very rare scenario where every attribute except the first. Phone number কি আছে? লেখা নেই? ছেড়ে দাও। So B, C, D are attributes, and everybody is independent of each other except A. A is associated with multiple values of B. A is associated with multiple values of C. A is associated with multiple values of D. Such a scenario is really very rare scenario. It generally doesn't happen. So if it happens, then we will say A multi-determines B, A multi-determines C, A multi-determines D. And B, C, D are independent of each other. Okay. Now here, with this respect to this table, we have EMP-ID. EMP-ID, we will write multi-determines project ID. Project ID. We could have written it separately also. We could have written EMP-ID multi-determines, the other attribute, that is dependent. But generally, instead of writing two separate multi-determines, what we follow is we write in a single line. We, instead of writing two separate, we partition them and write it together. Okay, so this is the method of writing an MVD. And you have to mention, whenever you write an MVD, you always have to mention that project ID and dependent has to be independent of each other. Then only such MVDs occurs. This MVD that I showed you is a non-trivial MVD. Can anybody tell me an example of a trivial FD? Can anybody tell me an example of a trivial FD? Trivial FD. What is a trivial FD? Suppose I have A, B determines C. Is this a trivial FD? Is this an FD? Yes, it is an FD. Is this a trivial FD? You will say no. Why it is not a trivial FD? Because which one is a trivial FD? A trivial FD example is if I write AB determines B, AB determines, which is always true, trivial case, which is AB determines it's A, or if I have A determines C as a given FD, then I can write A determines A. These are all trivial FDs. So which FDs I said trivial? AB, if AB is a determinant and if AB to C is given to you, then you can say AB to B, that means it's AB's subset. AB to B is a trivial case, AB to A is another trivial FD. And if again A to C is given to you, then A to A is also a trivial FD, always true. Okay, so we don't have to put any axiom to find out. It is a trivial case. It will be always true. A determinant determines itself. A determinant determines its subsets. Okay, so same concept here, and these are non-trivial. So these are non-trivial FDs. I said you in the class that reflexive, this is also obtained by a reflexive rule. Reflexive rule and trivial is the same thing. Some books say it is reflexive rule and some books say it is trivial, but more common is the trivial one. So we will say these are trivial FDs. And this is non-trivial because C is not a subset of AB. And A to C is also a non-trivial FD. Non-trivial FD. This is also a non-trivial FD. And AB to C is a trivial FD or trivial case, trivial FD. And here A to A is also a trivial. Students, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Is a trivial case. Now let us come to MVD. In the MVD that I wrote here is a non-trivial MVD. Non-trivial MVD. Okay, this is a non-trivial MVD. Then what is a trivial MVD? What is a trivial MVD? A trivial MVD is a case, a scenario where A multi-determines B, multi-determines B, and R is equal to, no, don't write in this manner, R minus A union B, R minus A union B is equal to null. What is the meaning of this? When R minus A union B, A is an attribute, B is another attribute, R is the relation which has these attributes. A union B, when I do A and B and subtract those two attributes from the relation R, I get null. So what is the implication? The implication is there are only two attributes. Who are the two attributes? A and B. Okay. So when I have A and B, then when A multi-determines B and AB are the only two attributes present in the table. Or in other words, if formally we write in this manner, R minus A and B is equal to null. The meaning is only two attributes are there. So no question of independent B, C, independent, these questions doesn't arise. So when I have A multi-determines B, this is known as a trivial case. Trivial case. Because A can be associated with more than one values of B. So no question of repetition. Like here I had repeated many times. Why did I repeat many times? Because project ID and dependent, there are two independent attributes. In order to get the correct information, I had to repeat two more records. But when they are not there, mother, child, this attribute is only not there. Only two attributes are there, EMPID, project ID. Then what is the question of repetition? I will simply write E1, P1, E1, P2, E2, P1, E2, P3. This way I will go on writing. So the question of that only when mother is dependent, then the project P1 is carried out. These questions doesn't arise when there are only two attributes. Okay. So trivial, trivial, where it is one. Yeah, trivial MVD. So this is an example of trivial MVD. If somebody asks you what is a trivial MVD, you will say a trivial MVD is when R minus, when A multi-determines B and R minus A union B is equal to phi or null. Clear? Okay. Now, what does 4NF say? Whether this relation is in 4NF or not, we will say no, it is not in 4NF because 4NF says the relation should not have any non-trivial MVD. No non-trivial MVD should be present in the relation. Okay, no non-trivial MVD should no non-trivial MVD should be present in the table. Clear? Now, FD is a special case of MVD. Why FD is a special case of MVD? When the attribute is associated with only one value, the A is associated, a particular value of A is associated with a particular value of B, then we will say it is an FD, and so FD is a special case of MVD where multi-value dependency, I mean multi-dependency is not there. A is associated with multiple values, this is not there. So sometimes it is asked if it is a special case of MVD. Okay. Now what I was saying that this relationship is not in 4NF. It is not in 4NF because the MVD EMPID multi-determines project and dependent is there. Non-trivial MVD is there. So what I have to do, who is creating a problem? This MVD is creating a problem. Okay. Why did the problem arise? Because the independent variables are kept, independent attributes are kept in the same table. So what I have to do? I have to separate these independent attributes. Hence, what I do here, EMPID project ID will be one of the table and EMPID dependent will be the other table. So what I will do, EMPID project ID, suppose it is R1 will be EMPID, comma project ID, and R2 will be EMPID, comma the other one, dependence. Now you will see, since I have separated them, the independent attributes are separated. So you will see that here R1 will have what? E1, P1, E1, P2, and R2 will have E1 mother, E1 child. Clear? Okay. Now, I will not tell you about 5NF today itself. First of all, 4NF should be clear in your mind, then now see. Suppose FD, this is a FD diagram. Okay, this is the FD diagram. So what are the things we have already studied? Let me just tell you once more. We have studied about functional dependencies. We have studied about functional dependency closure, that is F plus. We have studied about canonical cover. We have studied about axioms. We have studied about attribute closure. We have studied how to find out candidate keys. We have studied about normalization, 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF, and 4NF. We know that what are the decomposition rules, that is lossless and dependency preservation should be there. We came to know about MPDs and what is a trivial MPD. These things we have already come to know. Now we will solve some problems. Only 2 problems are there for the time being, but we will solve many other problems, otherwise it won't become clear to you. Given a set of functional dependencies that exist in the relation R, A, B, C, D, E are the attributes. If I write in this manner, the meaning is R is the relation and A, B, C, D, E are the attributes. If I give you a diagram, what is the meaning of the diagram? If I ask you that, please find out the functional dependencies that are shown in that are represented in the diagram. So what you will say? What are the functional dependencies that are depicted from the diagram?
Ma'am, A dependent on B.
No, A is not dependent on B. A is determining B.
Yeah, A is determining.
Don't say the opposite. It will be totally wrong. A is determining B. Okay. So B is dependent on A. This is 1FD. Then
C determines A.
C determines A. Next,
CD determines E.
CD combinedly determines E. CD combinedly determines E. So these are the FDs that are present. So this is one, A determines B. This is another one, C determines A. And the third one is C combinedly determines E. Okay. Now what we have to do is find the candidate keys of the relation. So your task is, now once you find reduce the FDs from the given diagram, you have to find out the candidate keys. So all of you find out the candidate keys. All of you are doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Three techniques I have shown you to find out candidate keys. Anyone can use with whichever you are comfortable. What happened? It is very clear from the three FDs. Who will be the candidate keys? CD.
CD.
I have not solved this problem. Okay, so you will do it. So CD is one of the candidate key. Don't stop after finding out the candidate key. There can be multiple candidate keys in your table or in the given FD set. Okay, so this is one of the candidate key. Because if you do this step wrong, then the full problem will be wrong. Please listen carefully. Students generally what they sometimes do is they only find one candidate key and they think that it is the only one. It might not be only one. It may be only one is there, or it may not be only one. There may be more than one candidate keys in your table. So if you do this step wrong, the other steps will be totally wrong. So I won't be able to give marks in the other steps if this step is wrong. Okay, so this step you should be very careful. Is there any other candidate key? Is CD minimal? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is there any other candidate key?
No, ma'am.
No, most probably
No,
no,
ma'am.
isn't it?
No,
Because
ma'am.
D is required to be present and C is also required. So CD is the only candidate key. Now what you have to do, what is the next step? So first step was to find out the candidate key. So we got it. What is the next step? Find out the normal form in which the relation exists. How do I find out normal form? In order to find out the normal form, the steps are, first step is candidate key. Second step is write the key attributes are, hence the key attributes are, one is C, another one is D. And non-key attributes. So this is the second step. You should follow the steps, then it will become easier for you. Non-key attributes are, who are the non-key attributes? A is one of the non-key attributes, B is the second non-key attribute, and
E is a
E.
non-key attribute.
E.
E is the third non-key attribute. So C and D are key attributes, A, B, C are non-key attributes. Now what you will do, you will see that it is already in 1NF because we consider that RDBMS, the relation is in 1NF until and unless the data set is given to you. And now consider that whether it is in 2NF or not. What we are going to find, we are going to find that in which normal form the relation is in. Now find out whether the relation is in 2NF or not. So what is the definition of 2NF? Just see whether it is violating the definition or not.
Ma'am, it's violating.
It's violating. So CD to E is what? It is an FFD, fully functional dependency, isn't it? Because CD is the candidate. What is C to A? C to A is what?
Partially
Partial
dependent.
functional
Partially dependent.
PD is a partial dependency because A is a non-key attribute and C is a key attribute. Non-key on the right hand side, key on the right and left hand side is a partial dependency. And A to B is what type of FD? Both are non-key. So it is a non-key relationship. So which one is creating a problem for 2NF? PD.
Second one. C2A.
Second one. So what I have to do? I have to convert the, so what you will say, third step you will say, the relation is in 1NF. The relation is in 1NF, the current relation. Now what we have to do, we have to hence convert the relation to its higher normal form. So convert it to its higher normal form. C to A is getting a problem. So blindly we will remove C to A and keep it in another table, or CD to E is perfectly all right. So let us keep CD to E in the table or one of the table. So I will create a table, insert. All of you do it. Sorry, what is happening? So CD to E is perfectly all right. It's an FFD. So let me keep it. C, D, and E. So there may be mistake while decomposing. Okay, it may be required to change. Let us check it. Copy. And so here, let me name this table as TTT is T1 and the other table as T2. T2. Now in this T2 table, what will be the attributes that I will shift? I will shift C and A. Isn't it? C and A was creating a problem. And what about A to B? A is kept here. So all attributes should belong to either this table or that table. Now A is kept here. What about B? B has to be kept somewhere. Okay. So where I will keep B? Whether I will keep it here or I will keep it
T2.
here.
T2.
If I keep it here, now let us check what are the FDs that will be present and who are the candidates. Okay. So here in T1 table, who are the candidates? Or what is the FD? T1 table, what is the FD?
CD determines A. P.
CD to E is the FD that is still holding in the table T1. Then no other FD is there. So who is the candidate key of this table?
CD.
CD combinedly is the candidate key. Now come to this table T2. Who is the immediate FD that I can see here? C2A. C2A. Another FD that is holding is A2B. Now tell me who is the candidate key of
T.
this table. C.
C.
C is the candidate key. So I get C as the candidate key. Now what you have to do once you have decomposed it in this manner, now you have to check whether dependency is preserved or not. Dependency is preserved, all the FDs are preserved, and whether it is lossy or lossless. So is it lossy or lossless?
Lossless, ma'am.
Lossless. Why is it lossless? Because who is the common attribute? C is the
C.
common attribute. C is a candidate key of at least one of the relation. Which relation? T2 relation. Since the common attribute is a candidate key of one of the relations, so I will say it is lossless. Okay. Now next what I have to check. So what was the fourth step? The fourth step was decompose the table and check for dependency, preservation, and what else? Lossy or lossless. Lossy or lossless. Done. This checking is over. Now, if correct, then what I have to check? Check. I was converting it into 2NF, isn't it? So check whether it got converted. Each money who? The decomposed tables. T1 and T2. T1 and T2 got converted to 2NF or not? Got converted to 2NF or not? So I have to check it individually. Is T1 in 2NF? Is T1 in 2NF?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It is in 2NF. Why? Because CD is the candidate key, so this is FFT. Is T1 in 3NF?
It is in 3NF.
It is also in 3NF because no non-key relationship is there. So no question of non-key attribute depending transitively on the candidate key arises. Is T1 in CNF?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is also in PCNF. Why it is in PCNF? Because
The LHS is having the candidate key.
the only determinant present in the table is a candidate key. Okay, the only determinant present in the table is the candidate key. Hence, T1 is in PCNF. After checking, we found that T1 is already in CNF. Already in CNF. Okay. Now check for T2. Is T2 into NF?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It is into NF because no partial dependencies are there, isn't it? Non-key is partially dependent on the candidate. And is T2 in 3NF?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
2 is not in 3NF. So we have to, why it is not in 3NF? Because there is a non-key non-relationship. Sorry, there is a non-key non-relationship. Hence, there will be an FD where a non-key will depend transitively on the candidate. Who is that? Who is that? There is a non-key non-key. So I said there will be an FD where I will get non-key transitively dependent on the candidate. Who is that?
C determines B.
See
C
here.
to A.
See here. C to A, A to B. So I can write C to B, C to B. How did I get this FD? Via which rule? Via transitive rule. Now, after applying transitive over these two, what did I get? I got a non-key B at B, a non-key attribute is transitively dependent on the candidate key. C is the candidate key, isn't it? So this dependency, non-key dependent on candidate key is got via transitive rule, which hence the T2 table is not in ENF. So why did I get such an FD? Which FD is creating a problem? Actually, there was a non-key non-key relationship. That's why I got such an FD C to B, isn't it? So we have to remove this relationship A to B. So I have to remove it and keep it in another table. So how I will do that? So I will decompose T2 to two other tables, and the two other tables will be, one of the tables will be what? Which one was creating a problem? A to B. So one of the table will be A, B, will be kept here, and another table will be what?
C A.
Achha, all of you write it. Another, so this table is what? This table is T2 has been converted, decomposed. So T2, 1. And the other table is T22, T22, and the T22 table will be, so T21 is AB, and T22 table is CA. In T21, who is the FD that is maintained? A to B. A